Hello and welcome to the 1969 baseball season. Today we're going to see a doubleheader between the Cubs and Expos in Montreal. The Cubs are coming into game one of this doubleheader trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. So as we get into game one in Montreal, we're going to see that the Cubs are going to send Bill Hands out to the mound. He is going to be making start number 3. He has an 0-1 record with a 5.40 ERA and a whip of 2. He will be opposed by the Expos' Larry Jaster, who is also making start number 3. He is 0-2 with a 7.36 ERA and a 1.91 whip. The Cubs lineup will include Kessinger, Becker, Williams, Santo, Hickman, Hundley, Banks, Phillips, and Hands batting 9th. The Expos lineup will be Wills, Bailey, Staub, Jones, Clendenon, Stale, Herrera, Hibbs, and Jaster, the pitcher, also batting 9th. It is 37 degrees, and the wind is blowing out to left at 19 miles an hour. So just kind of a brutal day for baseball here at Jerry Park. As the Expos head out to the field, we see Don Kessinger coming up to bat to lead off for the Cubs. 1-1 is the count. The Cubs coming in with a win-loss record of 2-9, while the Expos coming in at 6-5. So the Cubs struggling here in the early going, but a good chance to make up some ground here against the expansion Expos. So Jaster on the mound, looking for the sign as Kessinger steps in. Here's the pitch. Kessinger drives that one, center field, left center field, and that is going to be gone. The wind carries that one out. And it is 1-0 Cubs here in the top of the first inning. So Kessinger, with the leadoff home run, brings up Glenn Becker. First pitch from Jaster to Becker. Here it comes. And a liner right at the first baseman. Clendenon is there, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Billy Williams now the batter. 1 out and nobody on. Here's a 1-1 count, and the pitch to Billy Williams. And a liner in right field. Is that going to get down? No, it is going to be caught. Williams hit it hard, but Staub chasing it down for out number 2. Santo now the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's a full count pitch to Ron Santo. And that is ball 4 low. Santo checks his swing and draws the walk. And now Jim Hickman is the batter. 2 outs, 1 man on. First pitch to Hickman. Drives that one into center field. Coming in fast is the center fielder, Herrera, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Cubs strand a runner. They score once on the solo home run. We're going to the bottom of the first of a 1-0 ball game. Hands will face Wills to lead off for the Expos here in the bottom of the first. Hands looking for the sign, and here's the pitch. Ground ball towards second. Becker has it. Throws to Banks, and that is out number 1. Bailey now the batter with 1 out, nobody on. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And Hands working. Liner up the middle. That'll be a base hit. So the Expos have their first hit of the game. That is a 1-out single in the bottom of the first. And it'll bring up Rusty Staub. 1 out, 1 man on. 2-2 count. Pitch from Hands and a liner into left field. Williams heading over a few steps to his right and making the catch for out number 2. Jones now the batter with 2 outs and 1 man on. Here's a full count pitch to Mac Jones and a pop up on the infield. The third baseman Santo heads over. He makes the catch in fair territory to end the inning. The Expos strand 1. We're going to the top of the second of a 1-0 ball game. Jaster facing Hundley here in the top of the second. 1-1 count. And Hundley grounds it toward third. Picked up, thrown over to first, and Hundley is retired for out number 1. Ernie Banks now the batter with 1 out and nobody on. Here's a 1-2 count, and Banks waiting for the pitch. Strike 3 is called. Banks frozen with the changeup on the outside corner. And now Adolfo Phillips is the batter. 2 outs and nobody on. Full count pitch to Adolfo Phillips. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Jaster retires the Cubs in order. We're going to the bottom of the second of a 1-0 ball game. Clendenon facing Hands here in the bottom of the second. 0-2 count. Hands with the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Clendenon struck out. He was way in front of that changeup. And now Stale is the batter with 1 out. Nobody on. 2-1 pitch from Hands. And here it comes. Liner into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Phillips runs in a long way, but he still plays it on a hop. 1 out single for Stale brings up Herrera. 1 out, runner on first. First pitch from Hands. Here it comes. And a grounder to first. Banks actually lays out to get it, but the pitcher Hands is slow to cover the base, and Herrera has an infield hit. So Banks makes an amazing defensive play over at first, but it does not translate into an out. So now Hibbs is batting with 1 out, runners on first and second. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And popped up on the left side of the infield. Santo calling for it. The infield fly rule is called, and the second out is recorded in the bottom of the second inning. The pitcher Jaster is now the batter. 2 outs, 2 men on. First pitch from Hands, and a pop up to right. Coming in is Hickman. He gets under it and makes the catch for out number 3. So the Expos strand 2. We're going to the top of the third of a 1-0 ball game. The pitcher Hands is going to lead off against the pitcher Jaster in the top of the third. Full count. Hands waiting for the pitch, and that is strike 3 called. A fastball, and he heads back to the dugout. Kessinger now batting. He has a home run his first time up. Kessinger facing Jaster with a full count. Kessinger looking for the sign. Here's the pitch. And that is outside for ball 4. So Kessinger draws the walk, heads down to first. And now Becker is the batter. 1 out, 1 man on. 2-2 count. Glenn Becker grounds it toward third, and the third baseman bobbles it. Everybody's going to be safe. And now the Cubs, with the error, have first and second with 1 out. Billy Williams is the batter. Cubs looking to add to this 1-0 lead. Williams facing Jaster with a 2-1 count. Williams waiting for the pitch. Grounder towards second. Picked up, thrown to second. Relay to first, and that is a 4-6-3 double play. So Williams grounds into the double play to the end of the inning. The Cubs strand a runner. We're going to the bottom of the third of a 1-0 ball game. Hands will face Wills here in the Expos half of the third. 1-1 count. Hands with the pitch. Grounder toward first. Banks picks it up, throws to first. This time the pitcher covers in time, and the out is recorded. So Hands now facing Bailey. 1 out, nobody on. 1 strike count. Bill Hands with the pitch. And a grounder up the middle. Kessinger has it. Throws to Banks, and that is out number 2. Hands facing Staub with 2 outs. Nobody on. 2-2 count. Hands with the pitch. And a pop-up. Left center field. Coming over is Billy Williams. He makes the catch, and that is out number 3. So the Expos retired in order in the third. We are going to the top of the fourth of a 1-0 ball game. Santo is facing Jaster to lead off the Cubs half of the fourth. 1-2 count. Santo grounds it up the middle. The shortstop has it, throws to first, and that is out number 1. Hickman now the batter with 1 out, nobody on. Full count pitch to Jim Hickman. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Jaster gets him to chase the slider that was down and in. And it brings up Randy Hundley with 2 outs. Nobody on. 2-2 count to Randy Hundley. Here is the pitch. A pop-up behind second base. The second baseman goes back into right field, and he grabs it for out number 3. Cubs retired in order. We're going to the bottom of the fourth of a 1-0 ball game. Hands is facing Jones here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here is the first pitch from Hands to Mac Jones. And a pop-up to center. Going back is Phillips. It looks like he'll have room on the warning track. He makes the catch for out number 1. The wind carried that one quite a ways, but it still didn't quite clear the wall. Clendenin now the batter, 1 out and nobody on. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Don Clendenin. And a pop up to center field once again, this time Phillips at medium depth, making the catch for out number 2. Stale now the batter, 2 outs. Hands working with a full count and the payoff pitch. And a grounder to first. Banks stabs it, steps on the base himself, and ends the inning. Expos retired in order in the 4th. We're going to the top of the 5th inning of a 1-0 ball game. Banks will face off against Jaster to lead off the Cubs half of the 5th. 0-2 count, Ernie Banks waiting for the pitch. Lined into right field, that's going to be caught. Oh, excuse me. He played it on the hop. Apparently, maybe the umpire is saying that he trapped it instead of catching it. So Banks is safe on first with a single, and it'll bring up the center fielder Phillips. Nobody out, runner on first. 1 strike count, and Phillips grounds it to second. The throw to short, but the double play is broken up by Banks at second, so there is no run and no throw to first. And now Hands is the batter with 1 out, 1 man on. This is going to be a bunting situation for Bill Hands with a 1-ball count. He lays down the bunt. The ball comes back to the mound. The throw to first, and that will record the sacrifice as Hands gets his 2nd sacrifice of the season. Phillips goes to second, and now Kessinger comes up with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Full count pitch to Kessinger. That is inside for ball 4. So Kessinger has a home run and 2 walks, and it brings up Glenn Becker with 2 outs, runners on first and second. Here is the first pitch to Glenn Becker. And a liner into left field. That's going to be caught for out number 3. Man, I thought that might get down for a base hit, but Becker actually hit that one a little too hard, and it carried all the way to the left fielder. We're going to the bottom of the 5th of a 1-0 ball game. Herrera now facing Hands in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-2 count. Hands looking for the sign and the pitch. And a grounder to short. Kessinger comes up on it, throws to first for out number 1. Hibbs now the batter with 1 out, nobody on. Hands working to Hibbs with a 2-1 count. And the pitch. Grounder up the middle, that's going to be a base hit. A 1-out single for Hibbs will put a runner on first with the pitcher Jaster coming up now. 1 out, 1 man on. Jaster looking to lay down the bunt. Hundley pops up, he catches it. He throws it down to second, and they gun down the lead runner, Hibbs, to get the out. So the sacrifice accomplishes nothing. There are now 2 outs and a runner still on first, and Maury Wills is the batter. Heads up play there by Randy Hundley to get the lead runner on the attempted sacrifice. 2 outs now, first pitch. Banks with the ground ball picks it up, flips to the pitcher, and that will end the inning. The Expos strand a runner. We're going to the top of the 6th of a 1-0 ball game. Billy Williams facing off against Jaster here in the top of the 6th inning. 2-0 count. Williams waiting for the first pitch. And there's a grounder to third. Picked up, thrown to first, and that will retire Williams for out number 1. Santo now batting, 1 out, nobody on. 1-ball count to Ron Santo, and a grounder towards short. Picked up and thrown to first, that is out number 2. Hickman now batting with 2 outs and nobody on. Jaster facing Hickman with the first pitch. And Hickman grounds it to second. The throw goes to first, and that will retire the side. Excuse me, that was the shortstop Wills, but the out is recorded nonetheless. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is still 1-0 Cubs. Hands will face Bailey to lead off the Expos half of the 6th inning. Here's a 2-2 count, and Hands with the pitch. Popped up, second base side. Becker heads over. He's making the catch. That is out number 1. Staub now batting with 1 out, nobody on. Here's the first pitch from Hands. And popped up to center. Coming in is Adolfo Phillips. He has a line on it, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Jones now the batter. Hands facing Jones with 2 outs, nobody on, and a 1-1 count. Hands with the pitch. Grounder to the right side. The pitcher has it. He throws to first, but the throw is late, and Mac Jones beats out an infield single with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it brings up Don Clendenin. With 2 outs, 1 man on, 1-2 count, and Clendenin lines a single up the middle for another base hit. The throw goes to third, so the runners stop. However, the Expos are now threatening with 2 men on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Marv Stale is the next batter. Stale trying to help the Expos break through against Hands. 1 ball count and a liner into center field. A long run for Phillips, and he dives and he makes the catch to end the inning. Adolfo Phillips probably just saved 2 runs with an excellent defensive effort. We're going to the top of the 7th inning. It is 1-0 Cubs. So, the Cubs sending the 6, 7, and 8 batters up in the top of the 7th. Hundley leading off against Jaster. Here's a 1-2 count, and Hundley pops it up to center. Coming in is the center fielder. He makes the catch. That is out number 1. Ernie Banks now batting with 1 out and nobody on. 2-2 count. Banks waiting for the pitch. And he strikes out looking. There was a fastball, and Banks just watched it zip by. So Adolfo Phillips is now the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. And there is going to be some activity in the Cub bullpen in the event that Phillips would get up on base. We are going to want a relief pitcher available for the bottom of the 7th inning. Ted Abernathy is going to be the pitcher that is going to be warming up. Now, Phillips facing Jaster with a 1-2 count with 2 outs and a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Phillips goes down swinging. We're going to the bottom of the 7th of a 1-0 ball game. Hands is going to face the 7, 8, and 9 batters in the Expos lineup here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Herrera is the first batter, 2-0 count. Hands working to Herrera. Here's the pitch. A grounder towards short. Kessinger has it, throws to first. That is out number 1. You have to assume this is Hands' last inning of work, as he is due to lead off in the top of the 8th inning. Abernathy is going to sit down. He's warmed up. Hibbs now facing Hands with 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 count. Hands with the pitch. Grounder up the middle. Hands picks it up, throws to first. That is out number 2. The pitcher's spot now comes up. Jaster is going to be allowed to bat for himself in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hands facing Jaster with 2 outs, nobody on. 1-2 count. Hands looking to finish this with a flourish. And there is strike 3 called. So Hands sets him down in order in the 7th. We are going to the top of the 8th inning. It is a 1-0 ball game. And now Hands is going to be pinch hit for in the top of the 8th. We're going to see a substitution as the righty James Burnett will be brought in to pinch hit for the pitcher's spot, leading off the Cubs half of the 8th inning. Burnett is going to face Jaster. 1 strike count. Burnett waiting for the pitch. And a grounder up the middle. The shortstop has it. He throws over to first, and that is out number 1. So Burnett retires the pinch hitter, and it brings up Don Kessinger. Kessinger has been the difference in this game so far. A solo home run in the 1st inning, giving the Cubs that 1-0 lead. Here's a 1 ball count and the pitch to Kessinger. And he lines that one down the third base line. That is going to be a base hit. So Kessinger, 4 for 4 getting on base today. He stands on first with a single. And now Glenn Becker is the batter with 1 out, 1 man on. And we need to make sure that Abernathy is still ready to come into this game. 2-2 count, and Becker grounds it up the middle. Short to second to first, and that is a 6-4-3 double play. So the Cubs ground into a double play to end the inning. However, we're going to the bottom of the 8th of a 1-0 ball game. So now Burnett Burnett is going to be subbed out. The pitcher, Abernathy, will come into the number 9 spot. And Regan will be warming up in the event that Abernathy should get in any sort of trouble. So Abernathy facing the top of the Expos lineup here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1 count. Abernathy facing Wills. And here is the pitch. There's a grounder toward first. Banks scoops it up, steps on the base, and that is out number 1. Bailey now the batter, 1 out, nobody on. Here's a 2-2 count, and the pitch to Bailey. Abernathy, here it comes. Grounder towards second. Becker scoops it up, throws to first, and that is out number 2. Abernathy now facing Staub with 2 outs, nobody on. 3-1 count, and Abernathy with the pitch. Outside for ball 4, so Staub draws the walk. That puts the tying run on base, and it brings up Mac Jones. 1 for 3 today with 3 home runs. Abernathy facing Jones. Regan is ready, and it looks to me like that this might be the time that we bring in the closer. So Regan will be brought in out of the bullpen. He's going to be asked to get 4 outs in today's ball game. Regan facing Jones with 2 outs, the tying run on first in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the first pitch from Regan. Looking for the sign. 1 for 1 in save situations. And a liner up the middle, that's another base hit. He got that one off the barrel of the bat into center field. So a 2-out single puts runners on first and second, and it brings up Don Clendenin. Clendenin facing Regan. Bottom of the 8th inning. Expos down by 1. Here's a 1-ball count and a grounder up the middle. Kessinger has it. Throws to Becker at second to retire the side. Well, Regan allows a base hit, but the Expos strand 2, they do not score. We're going to the top of the 9th of a 1-0 ball game. And now Jaster coming back out to pitch in the top of the 9th, facing Billy Williams. 1 strike count. Jaster facing Williams, and there's a liner up the middle for a leadoff single. So Williams has the Cubs' 4th hit of the ball game, a leadoff single in the top of the 9th inning. And now the day is over for Jaster as Mudcat Grant is brought in out of the bullpen. He has thrown 5 1/3 innings, allowed 6 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and a 10.13 ERA. He will face Ron Santo with nobody out and a runner on first. Cubs looking for some insurance runs in the top of the 9th inning. Here is the pitch to Ron Santo. Mudcat Grant looking for the sign and the pitch. A liner into left field for another base hit. Back-to-back singles are leading off the inning for the Cubs. That puts runners on first and second with nobody out. Jim Hickman now the batter. Grant facing Hickman with nobody out. Runners on first and second. Here's a 1-1 count to Hickman and the pitch. And a grounder toward third. Picked up, steps on the base, throws over to first. However, the runner Hickman beats the throw. So only 1 out is recorded. There are still runners on first and second. Now 1 out, and Randy Hundley is the batter. Top of the 9th inning. Cubs still trying to look to expand on this 1-0 lead. Here's a 1-ball pitch to Randy Hundley. And a liner into left field, that'll be a base hit. Is the runner going to try to score? He rounds third, he comes home. The throw comes home, the slide, and he is safe. So Santos scores the second Cub run of the ball game. Hundley gets the RBI single. Cubs now up 2-0 here in the top of the 9th inning. And Ernie Banks is the next batter. 1 out, 2 men on base. 3-0 pitch to Ernie Banks. And that is low, it is ball 4. So Banks draws the walk, which loads the bases, and it brings up Adolfo Phillips. With 1 out, runners on every base, the infield is drawn in. Phillips facing Grant with a 2-1 count and the pitch. And a liner in right field, that's going down the line for another base hit. 1 run is in. 2 runs are going to score. Phillips with a sliding double here in the top of the 9th inning, and the Cubs now have a 4-0 lead. So Phillips making a RBI double in the top of the ninth, and now Regan, the pitcher, is going to be sent up to bat. However, the Cubs are going to call the squeeze bunt here in the top of the ninth. With 1 out, 2 men on, Regan lays down the bunt. Oh, and he pops it up. He pops it up on the infield. The first baseman, Clendenin, plucks it out of the air, and that is out number 2. So now Kessinger is the batter. He is 2 for 2 with an RBI and a home run today. Coming up with 2 outs, 2 men on. Grant facing Kessinger with a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Kessinger up the middle for another base hit. 1 run is going to score. 2 runs are going to score. The slide, he is safe. And the Cubs, Kessinger, has a 2-run RBI single. Cubs are now ahead 6-0 in the top of the 9th inning. And now the Expos are going to bring in another relief pitcher. This time it's Al Jackson. He comes in having only thrown 1 inning on the season, allowed one walk and 1 strikeout, and no earned runs. He's going to face Glenn Becker here in the Cubs half of the 9th with 2 outs and a runner on first. Jackson working with a 2-1 count, and the pitch to Becker is on the way. Grounder towards short, picked up, flipped over to second, and that will end the inning. The Cubs score 5 times to take a 6-0 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning. And now Regan will face Stale here in the bottom of the 9th. Cubs looking to close out this win in the first game of the doubleheader. 3-1 count from Regan. Here's the pitch. That is low. It is ball 4. So he issues the leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Herrera. With nobody out, runner on first. 2-2 count to Herrera. Regan working with this pitch. Popped up to center. Long run for Phillips over to left center field, but he makes the catch, and that is out number 1. Hibbs now the batter against Regan. 1 out, 1 man on. 1-1 count. Regan with the pitch, and a liner up the middle for another base hit. So the Expos threatening here in the bottom of the 9th with runners on first and second and 1 out. And now Manny Mota will be the pinch hitter for the pitcher's spot. Mota, 7 for 14 on the season with an RBI, facing Regan with 1 out, 2 runners on base. First pitch from Regan. Here it comes. Popped up right center field. This should be routine. Phillips to his left making the catch for out number 2. So the Expos down to their final out. Maury Wills is the batter. 2 outs, 2 men on. Expos down by 6. Here's a 1-ball count. Regan with the sign and the pitch. And a liner into center field. Adolfo Phillips gets there and he makes the catch, and that will end the game. So the Cubs end their losing streak. We're going to the second game of the doubleheader. The Cubs have a 6-0 victory over the Expos. The Cubs get 6 runs on 8 hits with no errors. The Expos get no runs on 8 hits with 1 error. The player of the game for the Cubs is Don Kessinger. He is 3 for 3 with a run scored, 3 RBIs, a home run, and 2 walks drawn. He was not retired in that entire ball game. The Cubs' Bill Hands is going to get the win. He goes to 1-1. He threw 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Abernathy gets the hold, and Regan gets the second save of the season for him. Worked an inning and a third, allowed 2 hits and a walk, but no runs. Jaster for the Expos is credited with the loss. He drops to 0-3. Despite throwing 8 very effective innings of 4-hit, 2-run baseball, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. However, the Cubs win this one 6-0, improving to 3-9 on the season while the Expos drop to 6-6. Thank you for watching Cubs Baseball.